¿Qué pasó, wey? It's your homeboy Quetzalcoatl, and you with another video. Today we're gonna cover the rise and fall of Edwin Valero. The life story of Edwin Valero is that of a man who had tremendous power, someone who set boxing records and won world titles, someone who seemed destined for greatness. Unfortunately, Valero's drug problems led him down a path of murder and suicide. This is the rise and fall of Edwin Valero. Switch to presentation mode on these motherfuckers. Edwin Valero was born on December 3rd, 1981, in Bolero Alto, Venezuela. He started boxing at the age of 12, and it was quickly apparent that Valero had a lot of talent and potential. As an amateur, he amassed a record of 86 victories with only 6 losses, and 57 of those victories coming by knockout. Some of Edwin Valero's achievements as an amateur was a 3-time Venezuelan champion, as well as a Central and South American amateur champion. In one of those tournaments, he beat another notable amateur, Panchito Bojado, who, if you never saw Panchito Bojado, he was a up-and-coming contender. He fought a couple times on HBO. He was supposed to be a potential superstar. Unfortunately, Panchito Bojado lost fights to fighters who, at that point in their career, were simply just gatekeepers to see if Panchito Bojado had the potential and the skill to step up to the next level. He lost to fighters such as Juan Carlos Rubio, Jesse James Leija, and Stevie Forbes. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to rise up to the occasion, and he faded out the limelight. I've heard rumors that Panchito Bojado is, right now he's asking fools for change outside the liquor stores. And I don't know if it's true, but if you do see Panchito Bojado outside your local liquor store, go ahead and shoot him a couple dollars. Anyway, while Edwin Valero had a very successful amateur career, all while this was happening, he also began experimenting with drugs. As a teenager, Edwin Valero was already doing cocaine. He was also out in the streets a lot. This dude was starting fights with motherfuckers, and he just had a reputation of just being like a bully type motherfucker. Just always starting some shit, ready to get down, just don't give a fuck type motherfucker. Shortly before his professional debut, on February 5th, 2001, Valero got into a really bad motorcycle accident. Part of the reason why he got fucked up so bad was because he wasn't wearing a helmet. Valero ended up fracturing his skull, and he needed surgery to remove blood clots on his brain. There was some speculation as to whether he would even be able to become a professional fighter, but his doctor cleared him in I believe it was January of 2002, and Edwin Valero made his pro debut in July of 2002 with a first-round knockout. While his doctor in Venezuela had cleared him to fight, and he was able to make his professional debut, the injury he sustained made it difficult for Edwin Valero to be sanctioned here in the United States. After his 12th fight, Valero was signed to Golden Boy, and he was supposed to make an appearance on the 2004 HBO card of Boxing After Dark. But Valero had failed his MRI exam and was taken off that card. This would delay his American debut until 2008, but Valero was determined to show that he had talent. Valero was a tough southpaw with huge power in both hands. He threw his punches a bit wide, which made his style seem reckless, but there was a lot of intelligence and skill coming behind those punches. He always had a good strategy, moved well in that ring, and he would overwhelm each fighter that he was with in that ring with his power and his intelligence. On February 25th, 2006, Edwin Valero set a boxing record by amassing 18 consecutive knockouts in the first round in his first 18 fights. People started to take notice He was scoring highlight reel type knockouts. Very exciting style. And Edwin Valero was ready for a 130-pound title shot. Edwin Valero won his first title in the 130-pound division on August 5th, 2006 versus Vicente El Loco Mosquera. Valero was able to knock down Mosquera twice in the first round, and it looked like he was on his way to another early stoppage. But he got overconfident and he got lazy on his defense. Left himself open, and Mosquera was able to take advantage and drop Valero down in the third round. This was Valero's only knockdown in his career. Valero was able to get up, and over the course of the fight, wore down Mosquera. Valero had a lot of determination. He had a huge chin. And again, heavy motherfucking hands. In the 10th round, Valero finally overwhelmed Mosquera, and the referee was forced to stop the fight. And Valero won a 130-pound WBC title. Valero defended that title 4 times before going up to 135 pounds. And on April 4th, 2009, Valero fought Antonio Pitalua in a very exciting fucking fight that ended dramatically in the 2nd round. Valero blew his ass out the fucking water. Got him, coach. With that victory, Valero was able to win the vacant WBC 135-pound title. On February 6, 2010, Valero made his final fight, versus Antonio DeMarco. Again, another grueling fight. He was cut badly in the 2nd round. It seemed like maybe the fight would be stopped because it was a bad fucking cut. But again, Valero's determination showed. He did not let the cut bother him, and he started bringing it to Antonio DeMarco. As you saw, Antonio DeMarco had recently lost a title fight and was beaten up bad. And in the Valero fight, he was beaten up just as bad. Valero, just threw all kind of motherfucking punches at Antonio DeMarco. And amazingly, DeMarco was able to stand up to those punches. But he wasn't able to answer the bell to the 10th round. DeMarco was looking like he was finna fucking die. And Valero was able to successfully defend his title. The personal problems in Edwin Valero's life were beginning to show. In September of 2009, Valero was arrested for assaulting his sister and his mom. His mom would later say that nothing happened, but people began to question Edwin Valero's behavior after that. Shortly after the DeMarco win, on March 25th, 2010, Valero was again accused of assault, this time of assaulting his wife. His wife had to be sent to the hospital with a damaged lung. Edwin Valero had tried to say that she fell down the stairs, but nobody was buying that shit. And people were saying that he was being real aggressive at the hospital, like he was finna start chewing on motherfuckers, like he was a zombie and shit. But you started to see the downfall. He was heavily involved in drugs, cocaine, and it was just driving him crazy. Some people also say that the brain damage that he sustained in that motorcycle accident probably had contributed to his psychotic behavior. And on April 18th, 2010, he took that behavior to the next motherfucking level. On April 18th, 2010, Edwin Valero was arrested in Venezuela for the murder of his wife. The hotel security where his wife was killed as well as the police who arrested him, say that he had admitted to his wife's murder. When I saw it on the news, I was like, oh shit. It caught me by surprise. You kind of knew something was going on in Edwin Valero's life, psychologically. With the arrest that he had, assaulting his wife, and the other prior arrest that he had, when he was fighting his mom and his sister. Something right wasn't going on in Edwin Valero's head when he's two-piecing his fucking mom. I heard he even did a stutter step after he socked her and shit. And he leaves behind a tainted legacy. So much wasted talent. I mean, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy just all the way around. Some people would call Edwin Valero a monster for the things that he's done, and it's hard to argue with them. Because what he did in murdering his wife and killing himself, it's unforgivable. I mean, he did some fucked up shit. It's a fucked up way that he ended his life and his career. Will people view his image differently as time goes by? Only time will tell. It wouldn't be the first time that someone's image has changed after some fucked up shit like that. The late great Carlos Monzon pretty much did the same thing that Edwin Valero did. Carlos Monzon killed his wife in 1988 and was sentenced to 11 years in prison. And while he was serving time in prison, he ended up killing himself in a car accident. Very bizarre, just all around fucking story. And as years went by, the image of Carlos Monzon changed, and people once again appreciated Carlos Monzon for the achievements that he had inside the ring. Will things be the same with Edwin Valero as time goes by? Will people will never forget the things that he's done, but perhaps with time, people will once again appreciate the things that Edwin Valero accomplished in the ring. 27 victories, no losses in all 27 victories, coming by way of knockout. One of the biggest punchers of all time. We'll just see what happens. This was the rise and fall of Edwin Valero. It would have been great to see Edwin Valero in future fights. That could have been big fights versus Juan Marquez, versus Lucas Matisse, versus Manny Pacquiao, Brandon Rios, or even Adrian Broner, who just had a huge victory this Saturday. Unfortunately, we'll never get to see those fights. If you like this shit, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and this is your homeboy Quetzalcoatl, signing the fuck on out.